Hey everybody, welcome back to the Biotopes. Appreciate you guys checking in with us. So today, just going to kind of be a day in the fish room. We've got some fish to move. We'll do some feeding, some water changes. So just kind of your normal Sunday fish room work. So thanks for stopping in, and let's get started. Okay, so we're going to keep this pretty raw. I'm going to go around and feed each tank, and we'll just kind of talk about what's going on in each of these. So we'll start where we normally start here with the southernmost tank. So let me get some, I'm going to feed some flake food today. Let's see. We are feeding the New Life Spectrum Optimum Flakes. So yeah, we'll feed this, and then we'll talk about what's going on here. Okay, so the first kind of new thing we've got going on, I added a Mr. Snail here to this tank. Mr. Snails are from South America, so this fits in with our biotope, and that guy's in there just to kind of help, eat up some leftover fish food, any, just clean up, help kind of break things down, and, eat some of the dead leaves off the swords. The swords are doing really well. I got to get in there and move some of that sand and gravel around. Unfortunately, when I set this up, I put the kind of media bags underneath here, kind of too shallow, so once in a while they'll stick through. You'll see some of the mesh bags sticking through there. So I got to go in and move some of that substrate around to build that back up again. Our dusky narrow hatchetfish in here is doing great. We're going to add his buddies here, 6 other of those today. So we'll get that on camera as well. But everybody other than that is doing really great. Let's move up top here to our Costa Rican tank, and now we'll get these guys some food. Alright, again, this tank is doing well. Nothing new in this tank. This driftwood is starting to sink. It's been floating for a long time. So it is almost fully submerged, which we're just going to let it sit where it sits. You'll see, you might have seen this in our videos before, but you'll start to see kind of the cross brace come through on the water level. That tells me that this overflow sponge here just needs cleaned out and changed. So I've got kind of an extra one of those overflow sponges that I'll replace there, and that will allow the water to flow a little bit easier, and that's just kind of how I know that the overflow sponge needs changed. Most of you guys that know these fish know that they dig in the substrate, and we've got a little pit going here. So what I'll do is I'll add some more of these kind of mid-sized pebbles, just to keep that from happening too much, and it adds really well to the kind of biotope of the setup. These fish are from kind of pebble and rock strewn streams, so it fits well just to keep adding rocks as needed there. So other than that, these guys are doing really, really great. Next here, we'll move to our Australian tank, South Johnstone River, and we'll throw these guys some food. Alright, so in this tank I moved back the signifers from our breeding project, the adults back in here, so they're settling in really nicely. Really, you know, these empire gudgeons are pretty awesome fish if you ever had a chance to keep these. Got some really cool coloration. Other than that, nothing really new. This tank is pretty stable. I mean, it does not have a lot of algae. This giant valve really does well in this tank. It's not overstocked. I would like, as you guys know, to add some more of these Pacific Blue Eye, the signifers. But other than that, yeah, it's, you know, really doing great and balanced out really nice. I would love to get this Apanageton back here to grow. It's just never really is taken off here in a while. So, you know, I had ferts and stuff, but it's just not really taking off like I wish. So maybe I'll add another Apanageton or two here soon. I had a couple other in here that have never really come back. Did well at first, but you know, as the Apanagetons go, they go kind of dormant from time to time. But it's been a while, so maybe in the future, I'd like to add one or two more of those. I think it's the Crispus that I've used, or Boliviana. Can't recall, but one of those works well in this biotope. Up top is our Southern China biotope. Let me get some food in here. For this one, we're just going to use some frozen bloodworms. Alright, so put in some frozen bloodworms. We'll just kind of let that settle down. Our eel is, there's his tail sticking out there under that rock. He'll come out once he smells those bloodworms and grab that, and we'll try to get that on camera. But we've got the 4 paradise gouramis in here, doing well. Still struggling with our hair algae. I think I've got to back the light down some more. I've been pulling this out physically, kind of on a regular basis, but it just never really goes away. I do want to add a trapdoor snail, which is biotypic to this stream in this area in southern China. I would love to do some mono shrimp, but I'm really worried that the tire track eel will end up eating them, and that would be an expensive snack. So I may just try a few and see how it goes. I put ghost shrimp in here, and they did not last, I don't think. I haven't seen any in a while. But some of the mono shrimp can be a little bit bigger. So I'm wondering if, you know, I might try some of that just to kind of help with the hair algae. I am going to add some other fish to this. Still deciding on that. Maybe some of the Rhinogobius gobies from this area. Again, you got to be careful not getting them too small. I don't want those to be expensive snacks for the eel either. So, did you guys have any suggestions on another fish for kind of this biotope? Again, we're from the Junjin River in southern China, the Pearl River Basin. We appreciate that feedback, but we'll let those go down and see if we can get Mr. Eel out here in a while. We'll get that on camera if we can. All right, this next stack. Now, this is all new. Remember, this was empty. I filled up this other 75, got the pump going, and this is just going to be now a grow out for now for kind of these fish as they wait to be traded or sold. So I've sold or traded in probably 22 of these paradise gouramis, so there's still a good group there left. Then I've got our 6 angelfish growing out in here. And this 4-foot, 75-gallon will be a great grow out for these fish. Keep feeding them really well, and made room in some of the 20 highs and just gave them more room to grow out. So that has changed the look a lot, actually, of our Indian biotope, Godavari River biotope here. The tannins have really lessened, so it's not as brown as it was. I'm still having some hair algae issues. Again, for this tank, similarly, I want to add another fish species, maybe a barb. Some of the barbs are good with hair algae, but again, it's got to be biotypic to this central India river. The glassfish are doing well. The giant danios are doing well. But again, regularly removing the hair algae from this tank. Wish the Bacopa would take off. It's kind of hit and miss. The Aponagate natans are kind of dormant right now, but they are starting to shoot off some new leaves, so I think that would help. There's a lot of dead spaces under this wood, so I think that the nutrient grab there is causing some imbalances. I've backed off the light quite a bit. It ramps up and ramps down. It's only at 100% for a couple hours a day. So, I think it's just going to take some time here to let this balance out. So, for this tank, I do frozen food as well because that's really the only thing we can get these glass fish onto. So, I think I've had some frozen Daphnia, so we'll throw some of that in. All right, so there's our frozen Daphnia. And these glassfish do really well on this. Obviously, the giant danios do as well. But it's small enough that the glassfish can eat it. Some of the frozen brine, a little bit too big for some of them. So this Daphnia or frozen Cyclops, obviously, any live baby brine is also really good. But feeding the frozen food has done well, and the glassfish are tough to find, just these normal wild form glassfish, so really want to keep that colony going. So yeah, pretty awesome fish, cool dimorphic colors. The boys, as we talked, get kind of a blue on their back fins and kind of a reddish tail, so that's been fun to watch. And again, with this tank, we just get it balanced out with the algae. I think that would be great. So we'll just keep working on that. All right, our next tank has been our QT tank for these angulatus. So what I'm going to do here, and we'll just do this on camera, what the heck, you guys are along for the ride. We will get these moved over to the 75-gallon Solomos River tank. So I'm going to take all that stuff out of there, the wood, the rocks and such, so I can grab those up a little bit easier. They're good size but fast, and we should be able to get them out pretty easily in this 10-gallon once we get that stuff out. So let me pull that stuff out, and then we'll do a transfer real quick and try to get as much as we can on video. Boom, got all 6. Okay, I don't know much you guys caught of that, but they are in. And yeah, they're doing pretty well. There's, let's see, 3, 4 in the back. 5, 6 there. Did I miss any? That one there is doing like a stress response. You can see kind of how it's upside down. Just take a couple here minutes and it's already righted itself and we'll be good. You can see this group here is already getting together. That's 6 there. Gonna be 7 in here. So it looks like they're finding each other pretty good. And there's 6, and the 7th one's back here. So he will find his group. Coming around back here, there we go. Yep, now they've hooked up. Looks like, there we go. There's our 7. See, it didn't take long at all. Now that 7 will be just way happier. I'm trying to tell, like, I thought those new ones were a lot bigger than the original, but I think they're about the same size. So now they're just checking each other out. They're going to be a lot happier and healthier together. And the colors here in a few minutes are going to get back to that blue sheen with that black tail spike. And yeah, that really is going to set off this tank nicely. So stay tuned for updates for those. But a really rare tetra you just don't find in the hobby these days much at all. And super excited. Thanks to Aqua Imports again for getting these out to me, and nice group of 7 there. And even that last black skirt tetra is hanging with that crew, so it's great, awesome. Don't see, oh, there's checking in on our eel. See his nose kind of sticking out there. Pretty cool fish, actually, but making it tough for unstocking. Okay, so now I just got to put the stuff back here in this tank. So let me do that, and this QT tank will be ready for our next inhabitants. Okay, the other thing with this tank too is we'll let this sit for a while, as long as we need to, just in the chance that those tetras laid some eggs, and maybe we'll have fry in here. That would be pretty awesome to get that rare of a fish to breed. Who knows? I don't think those fish have been bred much in the hobby at all, so it'll be interesting to see if anything shows up here in a few days. So stay tuned. All right, next we've got our rack of 20s. We've got our grow outs of our rainbow cichlids. I'm gonna try to get you guys. This is really tough to see in here. There's a couple there, just the glare. And this tank is not lit great for, a display. So apologize, you can't see a whole bunch in here. This other 20 here is empty, waiting for some new fish. So I'm going to throw some flake in for those rainbow cichlids. Now it's hard to see again, but these rainbow cichlids are growing really well. My buddy Jacob got a group of 5. So these are probably the next fish to move into that 4 foot, probably another few weeks. Because there's a good number, 25 or so in this tank. But they're settling in really nice, eating really well, putting some size on them. So again, if you're in the area and you're looking for some rainbow cichlids, happy to help you out. Let me know. Drop me a comment in this video, and we'll get it figured out. All right, down here are our Endler colony. Really, that's a feeder Endler. I've got the one really nice male that I'm kind of holding on to. Try to find him on film here if I can. There's one male bristlenose pleco. There's that male. Let's see if you guys can see him. Oh, he's way back there. There he is. But other than that, these are feeder Endlers. They're healthy. Been in this colony for probably a year. So we'll keep these guys going. If you want some Endlers, let me know. If you're feeding live food and you're in the area, this would be a really healthy alternative to buying, rosy reds or goldfish from your fish store, which are not healthy and surely have parasites. So this would be a lot healthier option for your fish. So let's throw them some food, and we'll throw our baby giant Danios some food. These guys are also doing really well. Probably 6 weeks or so from moving into that 4 foot, but really starting to put on some cool color. There's 6 in here, and really starting to have some good behavior and, like I said, color on the sides. Really happy to get this group of 6, and I don't know, still deciding if I'm going to add them to the Godavari River biotope or not. We'll kind of see where we are when these are big enough to go in there. So anyway, let's throw these 2 tanks some food. All right, there's let's get that male Endler. Really cool. It's got some white, a big white dorsal, and some, like white edging on his tail fin. So I'm trying to kind of line breed loosely, kind of that genetic. He's the only adult or showing male at this point. So cool fish. But anyway, these giant Danios are obviously great eaters, a lot of fun activity, and just crush up the flake a little bit, but they're getting to the size where they don't even need that anymore, so doing well. All right, down here is our pair of breeding angels. We just had them spawn earlier this week. Again, the eggs don't last more than a day, not even 24 hours. So I'm gonna try to, there's no rush. Let these guys try to, figure it out and see if we can get them to raise their own, or at least long enough where I can maybe pull the eggs after they've been fertilized. I'd be happy to do that too, but for now, we're just going to let them figure it out. This is the tank here with where our signifers were. Let's see, I checked the other day. There was 2 babies. Let me see if we can find any more. Obviously, if anybody's raised these pseudomagills, I mean, the babies or any rainbow fish are very small. I've been feeding these vinegar eels. I see 1, 2, and let me see if I can get these guys on film for you. It's gonna be a little tough. If I can find them. There they are right there. See them kind of swimming? Those are super teeny tiny. So 2 have shown up in the past. Let's see, the first one, 4 or 5 days ago. So we'll just keep them in here and see, these Tsunamigill eggs, sometimes it takes 10 days to hatch. So we'll just let it go. The temp is at 80 in here. And no rush. We'll see if any more fry show up. But let's get them some vinegar eels and the angels some flake food. Now here's my vinegar eel culture, and I've just got a little sponge in there on a fishing line. And it's kind of sitting at the surface of the water. I'll just pull that out and just squeeze that into that tank, and that's how I feed those signifers. So I'll do that here. Just squeeze the liquid with the vinegar eels right in the tank. Just rinse my hands in there. Obviously, you're not going to see them eat too much, but so that's the feeding. Don't see our eel out. Still under that rock, so nothing to see there. Our angulatus doing well. Really happy that those are all set, moving around nicely. So that's going really well. Today's water change, I'm going to change the water on these 2 and these 2 tanks. Super easy. I'll check the nitrates. I'll put that on camera. You guys don't care to see all that, but I'll check the nitrates and the temp, make sure everything's good there, and then I'll come back to you once I start the water change, and I'll show you how I do that. All right, so did our water test. They're both at about 75.8 degrees. This tank was 10 ppm nitrate. That was 20 ppm nitrate. So good to go. I cleaned the filter, a little internal filter on here, although this is leaking out water. This is supposed to be like a Venturi thing, but it's pushing water out, so I'm not sure. Something got backwards there, so we'll see about that. But anyway, most important thing is I'll show you guys how to do my water change. These are drilled overflows. I've got my input hoses here. on each side. That's our valve for the 2 middle tanks. Water runs around the room and comes in over here. So all I have to do is just turn this valve here. Water starts going in. Right there and right there. And I do 6 minutes. So I'll set my timer for 6 minutes. That gives me about a 20% water change. 10, 15, 20% water change. And we'll be good to go. And it's that easy. New water comes in this corner. Old water, opposite corner. Same thing here. New water here. Old water overflow is in the back there. And super simple way to set up kind of a semi-auto water change. While that's handling that, I pulled some hair algae out of this Java fern here. And for any of you guys know, these fish are great hair algae eaters. You can see there's no plants in here. That's because they eat it all. But as I pull hair algae out of this tank and this tank, these guys can handle it. And I'll show you guys a little bit of that. Just toss it in a clump. And off they go. They love it. The green is good for them. There's a little Java fern there that they'll take care of as well. So another pro tip, if you've got rainbow cichlids or convicts or Nicaraguans, they will eat hair algae for you. And duckweed. So, yeah. It's a cool little added bonus on some already pretty cool fish. Alright, that's still filling up. I'm going to let that fill up, and then I'll do the same down to these two. It's the same setup, just a different valve. And then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so we are done with our water changes. These tanks, this runs about 80 ppm nitrate, that's 40. This one's a little bit higher because I've got this Madagascar lace plant that I'm trying to just kind of get going. So I put a little fert in there. I use the Aquarium Co-op all-in-one liquid fert. And yeah, you can see I also put I put a tablespoon of marine salt per 10 gallons. So I put 2 tablespoons of marine salt in each of these 4 tanks. You can see the salt there. I just, the marine salt's pretty fine, so I just dump it in the flow of the filter, and it dissipates relatively quickly. So that's how easy water changes are on this stack of 20s. So thanks so much for stopping in, everybody, to the Biotopes gallery here. Again, just took you guys along. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do me a favor, if you gained something from today, if I earned it, please give me a subscription. Only if I earned it, though. If you learned something, entertained by something, I really appreciate your help. We're pushing at 770 subscribers so far, so getting close to 1,000. Again, really thanks for you guys tuning in. Hopefully I helped you guys out and you guys enjoyed coming around the fish room on a normal Sunday kind of maintenance day. So thanks so much, and we'll see you guys next time here in the Biotopes.